Hello, in this video, we are going to review a few concepts that we have learned in September, October, and November this school year. The first thing we're going to talk about is powers of 10. In this question is part A and part B. Let's read part A first. It says about 100,000 people live in a town. The number 100,000 can be written as 10 to the nth power, where n is a whole number. What is the value of n? Enter your answer in the box. Now, the first thing you want to do here is first take a look at 100,000. You want to think, how can I rewrite 100,000 in another form? We want to see 10 to the what power? Now, 100,000 is the same thing as 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. And notice here we can also count our zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And how many 10s do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this can be represented, 100,000 is equivalent or equal to 10 to the fifth power. However, our answer, they only want to know what is the value of n. And n is my exponent. So the answer that goes into your box is just 5. Now in part B, it says select the expression that has a value equivalent to 10 to the fourth. So in part A, we were talking about 10 to the fifth. Now we're talking about 10 to the fourth power. So if 10 to the fifth power was 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, then 10 to the fourth power should also be 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. But in this part, you're only seeing 10 4 times. The correct answer here would be C. Now, as a reminder, when we were learning about powers of 10, you had this chart here as well to help you identify what 10 to the first, 10 squared, 10 to the third, or 10 cubed is equivalent to. You see the expression and standard form. Always refer back to this chart if you are ever doing anything with powers of 10. Now we're going to move on to this problem. What is the value of this expression? And right away in this expression, I see multiplication, I see addition, I see subtraction. Whenever you see multiple symbols and operation symbols, you have to determine which one are you going to do first. What is the correct order of operations? So whenever I see order of operations, I immediately think of PEMDAS. So we have parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. And I'm going to actually underline multiplication and division or put a box around it, and same with addition and subtraction. We know that multiplication and division are friends. That means if you only see multiplication and division in the problem, you work your way from left to right. And that's the same thing for addition and subtraction. But in this problem here, we see brackets and then we also see parentheses. Now these brackets right outside, your goal is to do the expression inside the bracket first. And now inside the bracket, I see parentheses. So right away, I'm going to do these parentheses first. Now for every order of operation problem, I always like rewriting it where I have plenty of space to solve. If I continued solving here, I'd run right into those words. So instead, let's keep everything nice, neat, and organized. So we're going to rewrite this whole expression. I'm going to take a look at the brackets and what's inside. So again, we see parentheses first. So I'm going to underline parentheses. I'm only doing the operation symbol that's inside the parentheses, which is 3 plus 4 is 7. Now, everything else that I did not touch, I'm going to rewrite. So I'm going to just put these in the brackets as well. Minus, and then our 100. So notice as I rewrote this expression, the 100, the subtraction sign, even my brackets and the 5, the values that I did not touch stayed in the exact same location. Now, brackets and parentheses fall under the same category. So we're going to do 5 times 7 next. Now I'm underlining the one and only step that I am doing here. So 5 times 7 is 35. And now you have 100 and our subtraction sign that we did not touch. Notice I'm working my way down. And now I have 100 minus 35, which is in fact 65. I'm going to circle my final answer. And as you can see, I'm writing going down. Notice I start with a very large expression and I get it down to one individual value. Now, as always, enter your answer in the box. So whatever you have on your scrap paper, you now need to type that into the box. So we're going to type in 65 right here. So as always, when you see an expression that you see multiple operation signs, always think of order of operations and follow your rules of PEMDAS. For this problem here, it says, what is the value of the expression 4 times 455? Also, enter your answer in the box. Now, typically when we rewrite these expressions, we usually just write it in the order it was given to us. You see 4 first, then you might write 455 next. But in this case, if you did that, your problem would look a little funky. If I wrote 4 times 455, that looks a little crazy. Okay, it's not wrong, but instead, it's much easier and good to get in the habit of putting that larger number first. So 455 times 4. Now this looks like a problem we are way more familiar with. So now we're just going to simply multiply. But notice I rewrote this first on scrap paper, and now I'm ready to multiply. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 2 is 18. Now I use the standard algorithm for this approach, but feel free to use partial products, the lattice multiplication method, or even try the ancient Egyptian multiplication method or the Japanese method as well. You pick what works for you. So now I'm going to take 1,820 and type my answer in the box on my computer screen. And as always, make sure whatever you wrote on your scrap paper is exactly the same as what you're writing in your box. So now for this next problem, it says, what is the value of the expression 3,051 times 882? Now, this is a multiple choice problem. You're selecting one answer. However, this answer doesn't just come out of the sky. It doesn't just appear. You have to use your scrap paper here. And this is where you take out your scrap paper and your pencil and you rewrite this problem, setting it up whatever multiplication method you would like to use. Now, I encourage you to pause this video and solve this problem on scrap paper. When you are done solving it, unpause the video and I will explain the answer. And you can see if you got the right answer on your paper and see if it matches what is on the screen. So now, in this problem here, you're going to see I first rewrote this on scrap paper. 3,051, my larger number came first, times 882. My first partial product that I used was starting in my ones place. Notice I did each partial product in 3 different colors because we're multiplying a 4 by a 3-digit number. So I started here, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 0 is 0, plus that 1 is 1, and 2 times 3 is 6. Now, before I move to my next partial product, I always cross out any information or digits that were on the top. As I move to the digit in my tens place, I switch to green, so you can easily tell the difference between the partial products. And I also reminded myself I'm multiplying by 10, so I added a 0 to this row. Then I did 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 5 is 40, 8 times 0 is 0, plus that 4 is 4, 8 times 3 is 24. Now again, I crossed anything out that was up here, and then I moved to my digit in my hundredths place. Since I'm multiplying by 100, on my next partial product, I included 2 zeros. And again, I follow the same steps. 8 times 1 is 8, 8 times 5 is 40, 8 times 0 is 0, plus the 4 is 4, and 8 times 3 is 24. Now notice how I wrote this out. My digits in my ones place are lined up. My tens, my hundreds, and so on. Nice, neat, and organized is key to success. Then it makes adding very easy. 2, we have 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 6 plus 4 is 10. 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. 4 plus 2 is 6. And 2 is 2. Now notice here I have 2,690,982. Now, as you are multiplying, you probably recognize that E and F could not be answers. It's going to be way too small. You might have recognized G and H are probably your potential answers. One of those has to be correct. But you still needed to finish the entire problem to confirm that you knew the exact correct answer. So it's still important to still solve and write out all your work so you can definitely get that correct answer choice. Now our next problem, it says enter your answer in the box and solve. So it says 53 times 2,794. So what I encourage you to do is first rewrite this problem. identifying the larger number and putting that on top, and then multiply by 53. So you should grab scrap paper. I encourage you for this problem as well to pause the video, solve it on scrap paper, and then continue watching the video so you can check your work to see that what's on your scrap paper is the correct answer. So in this problem here, I did already solve it. We have two partial products here because we did a 4-digit number by a 2-digit number. Now in blue first, I started with the digit in my ones place. 3 times 4 is 12. Carry that 1. My 2 goes in the ones place. 3 times 9 is 27 plus 1 is 28. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 2 is 23. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 2 is 8. Now notice I had a lot of digits to cross out in blue. Make sure you cross them out so that does not confuse you when you move to the next partial product. Now as I move to the next partial product, I change the color, and so it's easier to identify the two. And then I also recognize I moved to my tens place, so I add in my 0 because I'm multiplying by 10. 5 times 4 is 20. I carry that 2. My 0 goes in the tens place. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 2 is 47. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 4 is 39, and 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. Now, finally, I notice I lined up my ones, my tens, my hundreds, my thousands, my 10,000s, my 100,000s, and I can simply add. 2 plus 0 is 2, 8 plus 0 is 8, 7 plus 3 is 10, 9 plus 1 is 10, plus 8 is 18, 3 plus 1 is 4, and 1. Now notice as I was talking and going through this problem, I hope that you were checking to see that what you have on your paper is the same thing that we did. And if it's not, identify your mistake, find your mistake, recognize your mistake, and learn from that mistake. So hopefully that will not happen again. Now, my answer here is 148,082. Now, whatever's on my scrap paper, I have to make sure that I'm typing that exact number on the screen and writing it or typing it in the answer box here. Now, I encourage you to refer back to this video, review this information that we already learned this fall. This is great material that you are going to continue to use as the school year goes on. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this was a great practice activity for you.